Jungle Mordekaiser has been so underrated for quite some time, and after his buffs last patch, people are now realizing just how strong it can be. So here's a quick guide to help get you started. Mordekaiser Jungle offers a very healthy clear, some solid early game damage and ganks, as well as turning into an unkillable tanky duelist with a ton of damage. Mordekaiser is so difficult to beat when he gets ahead, and he can just walk all over games with his damage and durability and snowball his way to victory. He is, however, very poor when he gets too far behind, and he needs to be strong enough to abuse his ultimate and take people out. Mordekaiser also doesn't have any real mobility aside from some movement speed from his passive, so he can be a bit prone to kiting. For your runes, Conqueror is just the best option to go for on Mordekaiser, without question. It increases his healing and damage in extended fights, which is everything that Mordekaiser is all about. Complete the rest of the precision tree, opting for tenacity, healing, and more damage at lower health. For your secondary runes, Resolve is the best route to go for, opting for conditioning and revitalize for some more resistances and improved shields and healing. For your skill order, you're always going to want to max your Q, as it's your main damaging ability. Follow that with your E second and finish off third with your W. Let's move on to Mordekaiser's itemization. Mordekaiser's most popular mythic choice is Riftmaker, granting you extra stats, Omnivamp, and even more damage in extended fights, which Mordekaiser thrives at. You can also go for a Frostfire Gauntlet though, which gives you a bit more durability early game and allows you to stick to your enemies with that slow zone. After that, Demonic Embrace, Ryla's Crystal Scepter, and Zhonya's Hourglass are the best choices for your core item setup. These items are the perfect AP bruiser setup, and they just work so well on Mordekaiser. If you want to get even more tanky afterwards, Thornmail and Spirit Visage are fantastic items too. And of course, there's those situational items which include Nashor's Tooth, Randuin's Omen, and Force of Nature. In easier matchups, you can kind of look to do whatever you want. If you outduel these champions, you don't have to worry about meeting them in the open anywhere, and can often just take them down if you do. Get that early jungle clear done and look to make the map your playground. Make sure to make use of your passive to chase enemies down with the movement speed and hit those isolated Qs for maximum burst damage. Against harder matchups though, you are going to need to make sure you don't meet these guys in early fights, so prioritize clearing and ganking lanes instead of trying to duel the enemy jungler. Ideally, you really don't want to get counter-ganked, so planning ahead is key, and focus on disrupting the opposite side of the map to your jungle matchup. Ward their jungle early game so you can see where they start, and base your map movements upon this. Be extra careful not to get caught whilst clearing camps, as without your cooldowns you're going to really struggle to escape. Mordekaiser works best with any allied champions who have the CC to set up ganks for him. Those that can lock enemies down and help Mordekaiser snowball through effective ganks are perfect. Anyone that can also bring CC to teamfights means Mordekaiser will have a much easier time getting onto his opponents and taking them down. So your E is your only form of CC early game, so you want to make sure you hit this in those early ganks to prevent your enemies from escaping. Mordekaiser's Q does more damage to isolated targets, so try not to use it when enemies are hiding in minion waves. If your teammates land some CC first, this means you can guarantee hitting your E and Q combo, which will do the most possible damage. Don't forget to use your movement speed from your passive and the shield from your W to win those early fights and skirmishes, and prevent you from getting taken down in the process. Mordekaiser's ultimate is an incredible ability that forces enemies into 1v1s. Most of the time you want to use this to isolate enemies and take them down, but it can also come in clutch when ganking for a teammate who is just about to die. Save your laner and kill your enemy at the same time. Mordekaiser's jungle clear is pretty damn quick, so you can definitely focus on full clearing and prioritizing that level 4. On blue side, start red, Krugs, Raptors, head up to Wolves, and then take blue and Gromp at the same time for level 4. On red side, start blue, then Gromp, Wolves, Raptors, red, and then finish off with your Krugs for level 4. After full clearing, you can look to contest Scuttle Crabs, go for early ganks, or even just get a quick reset. In teamfights, it's your job to create chaos and damage and disrupt as many enemies as possible whilst absorbing tons of damage too with your shields, heals, and durability. Try to find angles and flank enemy backlines and focus on taking them down with all of your damage and your basic abilities. If you find yourself among a full team and the odds aren't looking too great, pop your ultimate on a priority target and focus taking them down in a 1v1 in that different dimension. Mord's ultimate is just brilliant in teamfights as it can be used in so many different ways. You can use it to focus a specific target down, to remove an important carry from the teamfight, or even to peel by removing a huge frontline threat and allowing your backline to keep up that damage. If you're ahead, you can often kill most people in those 1v1s in your ultimate. If you're behind though, take them out of the fight and keep yourself alive with your Zhonyas and kite them. Generally, Mordekaiser is a tank and spank AP bruiser with a ton of damage in teamfights, so as long as you're present and conscious of which enemy targets to ultimate, you're going to be absolutely fine. Let's finish off this Mordekaiser short guide with a few quick tips. You can flash Q on this champion to make the Q follow you to your desired destination. This is a very popular way to catch enemies out with this ability, but if you do prefer Ghost over Flash in the jungle, just run at them instead. When running away from enemies, you can use your E in front of yourself to push them back away from you. This is a standard way to use this ability defensively, and it can really save the day. When you use your ultimate on Mordekaiser, you steal a portion of the enemy's stats, and if you kill them, you keep those stats until that enemy respawns. So in fights against multiple targets, this can be absolutely huge and add to even more reasons why Mordekaiser thrives so much in extended fights. Make sure to factor this in throughout all stages of the game, whether it's in early 2v2s when ganking or those clutch late game teamfights. Thanks for checking out this Mobalytics short guide on Mordekaiser in the jungle. Let us know how you get on and have fun with it on the Rift. Take care.